The dark web. It's a shadowy part of the internet that people talk about but rarely explore. Imagine a virtual mall where stolen identities are traded like playing cards, where hackers sell their services, and there's even stories of cannibalism. If it's creepy and weird, it's probably there. In today's episode of the Infographic Show, we'll be uncovering 7 of the craziest dark web conspiracies we could find that actually turned out to be completely true. Number 7. The dark web mystery box phenomenon. Everyone likes a surprise, and the dark web mystery boxes trend didn't disappoint. Thousands of influencers videoed themselves opening up packages and displaying the disturbing items for our viewing pleasure. The contents ranged from the innocuous to the downright absurd, from older model flip phones and fake watches to unmarked USB sticks loaded with computer viruses. But some of the weirder items included discarded rotting teeth in jars, animal organs sealed in Ziploc bags, and lots of creepy dolls. Personally, we like to steer clear of any haunted dolls, unless they're voiced by Brad Dourif or Jennifer Tilly. Despite the protests from influencers, viewers were skeptical. These boxes weren't actually sent from the dark web equivalent of eBay. But even though it was staged, people couldn't get enough of these bizarre unboxing clips. So nobody is using the dark web to offload their junk. But this hidden side of the internet is frequently used for a number of illicit sales. Number 6. The rise and fall of Silk Road. Launched in 2011, Silk Road was the first internet black market for all manners of illegal goods. It was a lot like Amazon, but only slightly more evil. Among the numerous illegal product listings, Silk Road was renowned for being an online marketplace for drugs and other controlled substances. Using the Tor network, a term you'll be hearing a lot in this video, transactions were completed using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This helped keep any prospective buyer completely anonymous. But it wouldn't take long for the long arm of the law to take a trip on the Silk Road. The darknet market's founder, Ross Ulbricht, was known for some heavy libertarian ideals and criticizing government regulation behind his alias of Dread Pirate Roberts. He'd wind up being arrested in October 2013 when the FBI swooped in and shut down Silk Road. Ulbricht was convicted in a federal court in 2015 on multiple counts related to operating Silk Road, including distributing narcotics by means of the internet, conspiring to commit money laundering, and trafficking in false identity documents. This was enough to earn Silk Road's founder 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. But this wasn't the only secret operation to tackle illicit online activities. Number 5. Operation Dark Huntor. Operation Dark Huntor involved 8 different countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, France, and Bulgaria. Its aim was to tackle the trading and trafficking of opioids and cut off the suppliers. The encrypted Tor browser allowed criminals the level of anonymity that they could only previously have dreamt of, but that is exactly what Operation Dark Huntor sought to unearth, using a variety of methods. One of these included conducting controlled buys, where narcotics were purchased from dark web markets, and law enforcement officials then traced the illegal goods back to their source mailbox. Coordinated and sophisticated technological attacks were conducted by law enforcement, deploying malware to take down sites using Tor to mask their illegal operations. But the exact technological methodology that governments used in Operation Huntor has been kept secret for now. Still, the operation successfully led to over 150 arrests of alleged dark web drug traffickers in numerous countries. Coming up, we'll explore some nefarious marketplaces. But first, number 4. Duolingo data breach. Next, it's the time that everyone's favorite language learning platform, with a not at all threatening mascot, was targeted by dark web hackers. That's right, of all the available services on the internet, Duolingo ended up in the crosshairs of some ne'er-do-wells. But it wasn't Duolingo themselves that these cyber thieves were after. It was the personal data of over 2.5 million Duolingo users. This included first and last names of users, their email addresses, along with other personal data submitted to Duolingo. It did not take long for the information to end up on the dark web, with the hackers selling all that sweet user data. How much do you think they were selling it for? That much, huh? Try going lower. No, we said lower. On the 22nd of August 2023, the data was available for the low price of $2.13. And as a try-before-you-buy special offer, the hackers would provide anyone interested with a free gift, a data sample of 1,000 of the language learning accounts at no charge. As that creepy little owl taught us, no es bueno. Number 3. Clorox cyber attack. In 2023, Clorox found themselves at the mercy of hackers. But rather than going after the customer's information, this dark web attack actually had a catastrophic impact on Clorox themselves. The company received a massive hit to its revenue and share prices after a cyber attack disrupted its supply chain. That's right, this was such a major blow to Clorox's operations that there were actual real-world implications in the form of nationwide shortages of their products, even total outages in some areas. That's always a big concern with cyber attacks like these. It's not just the risk of sensitive information becoming available on the dark web, but also the worry that attacks in the digital world will have serious ramifications in the real world. In Clorox's case, their supply chain was badly affected, and the cleanup cost around $49 million. That's a lot of bleach. It's time to grab your grocery list because we're going shopping. Number 2. The dark market. Sounding more like an area from a D&D campaign full of arcane street vendors, the dark market is, or rather it was, the largest illegal marketplace on the entire dark web. At its peak, Dark Market boasted a user base of 500,000 people, more than 2,400 sellers of illicit goods, who mainly traded in drugs but also sold counterfeit money and credit cards, as well as anonymous SIM cards and malware that could be used in cyber attacks. Over 320,000 illegal transactions took place using the dark market, with shoppers spending over $150 million in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But thanks to the work of the Central Criminal Investigation Department in Oldenburg, Germany, Dark Market closed its shutters for good. We hope that all these dark web antics haven't left you with too much of an appetite, because you won't have one left after this next one. Number 1. The Case of the Cannibal Cop. Back in 2012, New York City police officer Gilberto Vallier found himself facing charges of conspiracy to commit a kidnapping after his own wife uncovered some disturbing digital documents on her computer. Having suspected her husband of infidelity, Kathleen Mangan installed spyware to monitor Vallier's internet usage. But what she discovered was far worse than her initial suspicions. Vallier had been discussing his plans to abduct, murder, and then eat the women in his life, including his wife, on dark web forums. Thanks to the information available on the dark web, Vallier had compiled a list of materials he would need to kidnap an unsuspecting victim, including a tarpaulin to avoid excess blood splatter and chloroform. But more disturbingly, he had a spreadsheet of dozens of prospective female victims. He even used the NYPD database to access his would-be victims' personal information and shared them with fellow cannibalism enthusiasts on the dark web. Luckily, this wannabe cannibal never got the chance to act on his urges. His wife was horrified at what she had uncovered and reported her husband to the police, who swiftly arrested him. Gilberto Vallier would receive only 21 months in prison for his crimes. Now go check out This Is How the FBI Will Catch You on the Dark Web, or watch this video instead.